As we approach January 2025, the food price landscape is in flux, with several commodities set for sharp increases in cost, driven by factors including weather, supply chain disruptions, and market dynamics. Global food prices are directly affecting supermarket prices. In this video, we will explore 10 key products that will experience significant increases and how this can impact your economy. From coffee to rice, we'll examine these price increases and how to mitigate them. Effect on your budget. A coffee makes your morning ritual more expensive. Extreme weather conditions and regulatory changes in international markets have significantly impacted the price of coffee, particularly in Brazil, the world's largest coffee producer. The most severe droughts in the last decades have drastically reduced the harvests. The situation is further complicated by the El Niño weather pattern that negatively affects coffee crops in Latin America and Asia, in Vietnam and Indonesia, the largest producers of Robusta coffee. Excessive rains have caused havoc in crops, affecting the quality and volume of production. These problems have created a global supply deficit that has driven coffee prices to historic lows. Regulations in Europe, which guarantee that coffee imports do not contribute to deforestation, are impacting supply chains. These regulations force exporters to adhere to stricter standards, resulting in an increase in export costs and ultimately higher final prices for consumers. If you're a coffee lover, you'll notice that coffee shops and stores have started to adjust their prices to reflect these higher costs. Experts predict that prices could stabilize toward the end of next year, remaining significantly higher than in previous years. 2. Bread and wheat-based products. Bread is a staple that is always present in most households, while wheat-based products like pasta and biscuits are not only essential, but also facing significant economic challenges. Global wheat production has experienced significant ups and downs due to adverse weather conditions in key regions such as Europe and North America. In Europe, wheat harvests have fallen by 9%. Due to a combination of droughts and torrential rains, this year's production deficit is reducing the global availability of wheat, thereby raising costs. On the other hand, the costs of fertilizers and energy have increased considerably, affecting farmers. Consumers directly bear the brunt of these input increases, leading to higher prices for products like bread. In addition, some countries are implementing policies to protect their domestic markets, such as export restrictions, which also contributes to rising prices, although experts expect some stability in production in the long term. The beginning of 2025 will be a challenge for those who depend on these essential products. 3. Canned foods. A staple in times of crisis, canned food, famous for its long shelf life and practicality, is experiencing notable increases in its prices due to challenges in global production and distribution. Supply chain disruptions and increased production costs have reduced the supply of aluminum, a crucial material for can manufacturing, leading to a shortage. Moreover, the surge in fuel prices, which has escalated transportation expenses, has a direct impact on the final prices of canned foods and basic products like soups. Canned beans, fish, and vegetables have become essential for many families, especially in times of economic uncertainty. However, increasing demand has put pressure on the industry, which is struggling to meet the market in the face of logistical delays and fluctuations in the availability of raw materials in some countries. Competition with cheaper imported products is also affecting local companies by reducing their capacity. To combat these challenges and maintain competitive prices, many brands are relying on recyclable packaging and innovative technologies to extend the freshness of their products. Although these improvements respond to the demands of environmentally conscious consumers, they also increase the costs of canned food this January. Canned food is an essential product, but its prices reflect the current global challenges. 4. Sugar. We expect a sharp increase in sugar prices worldwide in January 2025. India, the second largest sugar producer in the world, has experienced a fall of 35.5% in production due to delays in harvests and adverse weather conditions. These difficulties have led the government to reduce exports to prioritize the domestic market, seriously affecting global supply. Brazil, the largest sugar exporter, also faces challenges such as severe droughts and fires. Forests have affected the central southern region, reducing agricultural yields and limiting production. Cuba, once a leader in the sugar industry, is currently grappling with a shortage of basic resources, leading to a further collapse in global supply. This imbalance between supply and demand has led to record prices in international markets for consumers. The impact. It will be visible in sugar and processed products like sweets, soft drinks, and desserts. Experts do not anticipate immediate relief, as sugar crops require years to recover, and the growing demand in developing countries continues to exert pressure on the markets. Consequently, the cost of baking cakes and sweetening coffee will significantly increase by 2025. The 5 most expensive cooking oils, which are essential in most kitchens, are becoming increasingly expensive commodities due to economic and agricultural changes. Globally, the change in temperatures in India, one of the largest consumers of cooking oil, has led many farmers to choose more heat-resistant crops, significantly reducing the production of oils like sunflower and soybean. This has increased the dependence on imports, are driving up prices in an already strained market in Europe, with olive oil production showing signs of recovery after years of drought. But prices remain high due to strong demand and the time needed to stabilize crops. Meanwhile, in the United States, imports of cheaper oils from China have complicated the local market, affecting national producers. Additionally, consumers are showing increasing interest in more sustainable alternatives, such as oils made from microalgae or fermentation processes. However, these options are still not widely available. This January, cooking oils from olive to canola will be more expensive, affecting both domestic consumers and businesses that rely on them for their daily operations. 6 dairy products. More expensive. Enjoy cheese. The global dairy industry is facing challenges that will significantly increase the prices of products such as milk, cheese, and ankyla. In January 2025 in the United States, the number of dairy cows has decreased due to farm consolidation and increased maintenance costs. Meanwhile, the volatility in grain markets has led to an even higher price of livestock feed. Due to high demand and the prioritization of cheese production by milk processing plants, butter production in Europe has reached record prices, and environmental concerns are exerting pressure on the industry. Livestock farming is responsible for a large share of global methane emissions, and activists are demanding more action. Sustainable products inevitably increase production costs. Legislative uncertainty in countries such as the United States, where key agricultural support policies have expired, is also affecting market stability as prices rise. Some consumers are opting for plant-based alternatives such as milk and vegan cheeses. However, for those who prefer traditional dairy products, 2025 may present challenges. 2025 promises to be a tough year to enjoy your favorite foods. If rice. The global staple, millions of people around the world rely on rice as a pillar of their diet, but pressure is mounting to raise its price in January 2025. Price in January 2025 India, the largest rice exporter, has implemented restrictions on its exports to protect domestic supply, a measure that has shaken global markets. This has limited the availability of rice in importing countries such as the Philippines and several in sub-Saharan Africa that depend on it. Meanwhile, in Indonesia and Thailand, governments are allocating more land to rice cultivation to reduce their dependence on imports. But these initiatives require time before technological advances such as drought-resistant rice varieties show significant results. Precision agriculture techniques are improving production in some regions, but they are still insufficient to meet the growing global demand. In addition to this, there is a shift in consumer preferences towards more specialized varieties like basmati and jasmine rice, or organic alternatives. These options typically incur higher production costs, leading to rising prices for households that regularly consume rice. This staple could potentially transform into an unexpected luxury at the start of the year. 8 tropical fruits. More expensive luxury tropical fruits, such as mangoes, pineapples, and papayas, are experiencing significant price increases due to a combination of climatic and economic factors. The transportation of these fruits, which often depends on long supply chains, has become more expensive due to rising fuel costs. This particularly impacts international markets, as countries such as Mexico and the Philippines, which produce these fruits, view them as imports. Excessive rains and extreme temperatures have reduced harvests, affecting both the quality and quantity of production. In addition, the demand for organic and sustainable fruits is growing, but these cultivation practices are more expensive and require more resources, which contributes to an increase in prices for consumers. They are observing the impact on fresh produce, juices, and other derivatives, potentially transforming these fruits into perceived luxury items rather than affordable food. Although some local markets could offer more competitive prices, exports will continue to face challenges, and experts predict that the high prices will remain for most of 2025. For those who enjoy these fruits in their daily diet, next January will be a reminder of the global impact on the cost of food. 9 chocolates, a more expensive pleasure. Chocolate, a universal pleasure, will be more expensive in January 2025 due to a combination of factors affecting its production. West Africa, the region that leads global cocoa production, faces serious challenges. Climate changes such as irregular rainfall and extreme temperatures have reduced the quality and quantity of crops, directly affecting the availability of the grain. International markets are experiencing a combination of a decrease in supply and a growing global demand. Particularly in emerging markets, the surge in cocoa prices has led to historic highs, while regulations mandating more sustainable agricultural practices have escalated the production costs for farmers. These measures, while necessary for environmental protection, inevitably result in higher costs, which in turn impact the final price of chocolate. This impact extends from cheap bars to premium products, thereby reducing the accessibility of chocolate for many consumers. For those who enjoy this sweetness, 2025 will be a year of challenges. Some brands are exploring alternatives such as the use of substitute ingredients or sources of cocoa that are more resilient, but these options are not yet available on a large scale. This January, a simple chocolate craving will mirror the challenges of a global industry undergoing transformation. Orange juice, the most expensive breakfast option and an iconic element of breakfast, is currently facing one of its biggest crises in decades. Brazil, the world's largest producer of orange juice, is reporting its worst harvest in 35 years. Prolonged droughts combined with citrus greening disease have devastated crops, reducing production by 25%. Moreover, recent hurricanes in Florida have exacerbated the damage. With much of the U.S. orange crop destroyed, wholesale prices for orange juice have reached record highs, doubling from the previous year. Consumers are already seeing these increases reflected in retail prices, with some brands increasing costs by more than 30%. As a result, many families are opting for cheaper alternatives or reducing their consumption of orange juice. However, experts suggest that this sector's recovery could take years, as trees affected by diseases and natural disasters require time to regenerate. You see, this January 2025 comes with several challenges in the supermarket, from coffee to rice and cooking oils. Many essential products are rising in price. The key is to plan your purchases and look for offers before the increases arrive. If you found this information useful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share the V with your friends to ensure they are also prepared. See you in the next V.